Hey, what's going on everyone? My name is Lane McCall and today I want to talk to you about the three main reasons why I still chose the A7R III over the A7 III. Alright, before we get started, I just want to throw a disclaimer out there. This camera is bought with my own money. I have played with the other, R3 and A7 IIIs in the past, lended from Sony, but this one was bought with my own personal money. That's why I'm just now making a video about it, okay? So please don't light me up in the comment section because I like a feature set that you don't. I'm all about tasteful debates, but let's keep it professional, guys, okay? Alright, let's begin. So one of the first features I'm going to point out is actually the display in the viewfinder as well as the display on the back screen here. I know that the A7 III compared to the A7R III, there isn't a humongous gap, in between the quality of the two. But the reason why I'm pointing this out and why I like it better on the A7R III is, yes, it does have a higher pixel count and this and that, but it's whenever I actually have focus peaking applied to the A7R III, I can actually see those edges a little more clearly than I could on the A7 III. And especially when I'm outside under those sunny conditions, that really allows me to pull a more accurate focus pull to whatever object I'm trying to put in focus. So that's just kind of what I think. However, the A7 III's display is not bad. I'm just saying that this one's a little better and helps my workflow a little bit. Alright, so the second feature that I like about this camera when comparing to the A7 III is the fact that when I go into 4K at 30 frames per second in this camera, there is no crop factor. The A7 III applies a 1.2x crop. Now, is that an absolute deal breaker? No, there's not, because with the A7S II, we all worked around the slow motion feature on that with the cropping. The thing is though, is I'm absolutely sick and tired of having all these crop-in modes. If I have a 16 to 35 G Master lens on this, I want to have a 16 to 35 focal range. I don't want that crop in. If I want that, I'll use clear image zoom. Now, I recently discovered just a while back that if you shoot in 30 frames per second and you edit on a 24p timeline and you conform that footage on a gimbal, it will slow it down just enough to kind of smoothen out those little jitters and stuff you might have on a gimbal or from walking or something like that. And that is why that 30 frames per second is going to become a lot more useful in this camera than it would on the A7 III. The third and final reason why I choose this camera over the A7 III is going to be because of that whopping 42 megapixel sensor. Now hold on guys, I know that you're like, oh come on Lane, that's the obvious thing. Yes, I understand that, but I want to ask you all, have you ever actually shot with the A7R II or the A7R III? If you haven't, I would highly recommend you go out there and actually test one of these cameras, borrow it from a camera shop, rent it, friend, whatever, and just take some shots with this and it will blow you away. Is 42 megapixels necessary? No. Do you need 42 megapixels for a billboard? No. You can get all of this stuff done, especially my workflow, because almost everything's digital these days anyways. I can get all that done on a 24 megapixel sensor, heck, probably even a 12, and do just fine. The thing is though, having the flexibility to crop in as much as this sensor allows you is what's mind-blowing. I have gotten super lazy with my photography composing and resizing because I know that once I get into Photoshop and I finish editing the image and touching it up and stuff, the final step I will always do is to crop it, resize it, reframe it, whatever I want to do. And this camera gives me beyond the flexibility that I actually need. And that really does just streamline and it really just helps my workflow and speeds things up a lot for me. That's kind of for you all to decide, is this worth the $1,000 more than the A7 III? That's up for you all. You see, the $2,000 A7 III has amazing autofocus, amazing video features. It has pretty much amazing everything at a very good price point, and I say thumbs up to Sony. The thing is though, I think this camera still sets apart from the rest of the pack, including that A7 III, with a few key features that really helps my workflow. So as always guys, if you enjoy the content I'm pushing out to you, be sure to hit that subscribe button down there and smash that like button if you like this video and share it with all your friends and stuff, okay? So once again, get out there, start shooting, and have some fun. My name's Lane McCall.